like me, you probably saw Bring the Soul this weekend and now are having a serious case of loving and missing BTS, especially after we heard about their break, which of course is fantastic. I am so glad that they're getting the break time and rest time that they need to spend time with their friends and family. However, naturally, we still miss them. And you might have also noticed that International Army got completely scammed. Okay, we didn't get scammed, but we didn't get these super cool tickets that they got in Korea, and we did not have access to them. I actually read somewhere that even if you were traveling in Korea at the time, if you weren't a Korean citizen, you still couldn't get them. So I don't know if it's like a fan cafe thing or something, but anyway, I ended up entering a giveaway for one on Twitter. And after I entered it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to make one. So this is not official. This is one that I made, and today I'm going to show you how to make one. And I'm also going to be doing a quick K-pop journal spread for Bring the Soul, the movie. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing I did was create my own versions of these tickets in Photoshop, and then I picked up some holographic paper from Joann Fabrics and I cut it down to be the size of a regular sheet of paper that I could put through my printer. And then I put my designs into a Word document and printed it off onto the paper using the photo paper setting. And if you want to use the designs that I did, which look exactly like the real ticket, I just created my own in Photoshop so they would print nicely, I will leave a link in the description for those files. Now, this is not paper that is meant to be printed on. I just wanted mine to be actually holographic, so I decided to give it a shot, but you need to be very careful when they come out of the printer because they will smear. I recommend spraying over top of it with some kind of sealant. I did 2 coats of Mr. Super Clear and I waited 30 minutes in between each coat. And then while I was waiting for that to dry, I cut out the front parts of my tickets. And once it was all dry, I brought them back and I measured out where to cut the lines so that they would match up with the front part of the ticket. And then I cut them out with my paper cutter. Also, when you're cutting them out, you still need to be very careful not to smear them because it will smudge a little bit. So that actually happened to me when I was cutting out one of these, which is why the next step is essential. I bought these Scotch laminating sheets from Target. They are adhesive on one side, so I peeled off the paper and I put the holographic part of the tickets face down onto the sticky part very carefully. Push them down so that they stick okay. And make sure that you do spray it with sealant before you do this. And it needs to be a spray sealant. If you do a sealant that you can paint on, it's going to smear the ink everywhere. And if you try to laminate it without sealing it, it's going to do this. So again, make sure you seal it first and then glue on the front part of the tickets and use another sheet of laminating film to squish them together. And then I am going to cut them out after pushing down and making sure everything is all stuck nicely. And lastly, I'm going to use a hole punch to do the perforation at the top and the bottom of the ticket. And there you have it. You have your very own collectible Bring the Soul tickets that are almost complete replicas of the ones you could get in Korea. So now let's get into my journal spread. I wanted it to be pretty simple and I still wanted to have lots of room to write because I had quite a bit to say about this movie. So I printed off a small version of the movie poster, and since I never actually get like physical movie tickets anymore because I always get my movie tickets online, I printed off a screenshot of my movie ticket that I had on my phone. I wanted to have a movie ticket that was actually mine, so it has my seats and the date that I went on it and things like that, so I included it. And then I just did my typical calligraphy, fake calligraphy of Bring the Soul. If you want to see how I do my lettering, check out my hand lettering tutorial video, and it has a much more in-depth description of how I do my lettering personally. So I've talked before about how my marker paper, if I draw on the wrong side of it, it doesn't work correctly and the markers smudge, and that is exactly what happened this time. And so I traced it onto a different sheet of paper that was on the correct side, and then I colored it in. So I just want to talk a little bit about the movie itself. I, of course, loved it. I actually enjoyed it, I think, a little bit more than Burn the Stage. And I think some of that is because it had a lot more of just like footage of them doing things instead of just them talking at the camera. And it had more footage of actual performances. I feel like in Burn the Stage, a lot of it was just like slow-mo versions of the performances with some kind of audio track over top of it, and this actually showed some performances which I liked a lot. And of course, some of my favorite parts were when Tae said that Army shines the brightest to him. I may have got a little teary at that part. And also when Namjoon was talking about how between BTS and ARMY, it's a give and take relationship. They work so hard to give back to us for all of the support and time and energy that we spend on them. And I just think that's really beautiful. I love how they appreciate ARMY and how they love us. I don't think I've ever stanned a group or anybody ever before that made me feel loved by them the way that BTS does. And then when Namjoon did his speech at Citi Field and he was talking about how we taught him to love himself and he wants us to use BTS to love ourselves. And honestly, people don't understand why we are so fanatic, air quotes, but that is why. I mean, they are teaching us to love ourselves, and that is so amazing. And ARMY and BTS have the most amazing relationship. Like, name a better duo. You can't. So I decided not to use one of my homemade tickets in my spread, but I wanted to give like still a holographic effect. So I used this little holographic BTS decal sticker that I actually got as like a little freebie when I ordered these stickers for my ARMY bomb. And yes, this video was actually taken at the concert in Soldier Field, and that's why my ARMY bomb is a little bit damp. But anyway, I've had that sticker in my drawer for a long time, and I thought this was the perfect chance to incorporate it into a spread. And this is the final spread. Like I said, it's a pretty simple spread. I just wanted to be able to get my thoughts out on the movie right after I saw it, so that's what I went for. If you like this video and you enjoy the tutorial at the beginning, please let me know by liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.